We are back and ready for action here at Meadowlands Speedway for the NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series. It is the Bass Pro Shops 500. My name is Colin Denton. I'll be on your call today. Now let's take a look at our standings. Paul Brenner leading the pack along with Barry Goldberg. Stephen Willie has a win as well, along with Reese Butcher, last week's winner, sitting at 23rd, but is still chase eligible. Now let's look at those rules real quick. If you have a win and are in the top 35 in standings, you are a chase qualifier. And it's basically the same system as the Sprint Cup Series. If we happen to have any ties at 16th place after 16 races, and they haven't been filled by winners, we will put all of those drivers in the chase, but we'll have to make cuts until we get to 12 after 3 races. Now let's take a look at the starting grid. K-Dude124 in the YouTube Chevrolet leads the pack, along with Johnny Gardner in the Victoria's Secret Ford. In the second row, we have Andrew Rich and Tyrone Kingston. In the third row, John Green and Pat Hayes. In the fourth row, John Arndt and Eric Van Arsdale. In the fifth row, James McDaniel and Josh Harris. In the sixth row, Barry Goldberg and Dale Jr. Dude 88. In the seventh row, NASCAR Fan 19 and Zach Campbell. In the eighth row, Andrew Golden and Carson Scott. In the ninth row, The Flash and NASCAR Fan 1418. And in the 10th row, Tyler Markell and Dejan Weeks. Here's the rest of the order flashing up at the bottom of the screen. Another one of those long tracks, going to be high speed. Might see a decent amount of passing today. We'll see how pit strategy plays out as we have a 50-lap race going green flag right now. They're already fanning out. There's 3 wide heading into turn number 1. That finish line being a little bit offset, more toward the turn 1 entrance than in the middle of the tri-oval, so it's kind of a Talladega-like track. Not nearly as close as what it was at Seattle, and we know how that turned out, but still a little bit further down the track that might play a factor later on in this race. We'll see if the finish has some intense racing at the end. As they come through the tri-oval, and we've got some smoke, and we have a spin, and a big crash. I see Saura. We turn around, we see Cooper, Wanderley, NASCAR man number 1. The cars seem to get going. It looked like Lindsay might be stalled on the track. He might have the killed car. Everyone else that was involved, and there were quite a few of them, seemed to have gotten away from the accident. So it might just be some minor damage for all of them. Still could play a factor, though, as we've seen before. On these high-speed tracks, damage does cause some speed issues. So we'll have to take a look at how that plays into the rest of the race. So on lap number 1, we have already experienced our first caution. Now let's see if we have some pit strategy. Actually, Andrew Rich, who led that first lap, has decided not to come down the pit road. He's not the only one. Looks like Dale Jr. Dude 88 also out there on the track. Everyone else, though, seemingly coming down to make their pit stops. See one more driver up there also coming around. Can't tell quite from that angle. So to come down, K-Dude124, our pole sitter. NASCAR Fan 1418 is the first one of our guys to come down. And he is, looks like he's taking fuel only. He's our first of the bubble drivers, and he's made contact with Carson Scott. Or rather Scott has made contact with him. K-Dude124 looks like he took 2 tires. John Green has won the battle off pit road. But yikes, not something you want to have as your bubble driver making contact on pit road. Not sure what Carson Scott was doing there. Let's take a look at the incident on the track. Looks like there was some contact there with Lindsay being the epicenter of it. He got hard contact in several different places and smacked the outside wall in front of several different drivers. I'm counting 9 right here alone. Let's actually go on board Lindsay now and see what he saw. So he's got a good run coming up through here, and he makes contact with Marty Johnson. And Lindsay cannot save it. Johnson actually did save it. He goes down any further. He takes out Rampage, who is also another one of those bubble drivers. Some nice driving there. Lindsay, though, is not on the fortunate side of this, and it looks like he might be done for the day. Here at Meadowlands Speedway, we will be right back after this quick commercial break.
Since you guys taught me to drive, I'm gonna teach you to wrestle. Denny, let's start with you. I'll show you a move. It's right over here. This is a body slam. What? Not bad.
Here, man, let me help you up.
Hey! Huh? Ah! Oh, no! Ah! Oh! No! No! These guys are phenomenal.
Start every day with Gillette Fusion Power Phenom. With Gillette's most comfortable shave, you'll feel phenomenal.
No, man!
Gillette Fusion Power Phenom, the only razor used by the Gillette Young Guns.
For even more comfort, use Gillette Fusion Hydrogel. Comfortable?
Welcome back to Meadowlands Speedway. After one lap of racing, already experiencing our first caution, but it gives us our chance to give away a new award called the Hardy's Hot Seat, being given away to the best driver across the past 4 races. And the first award recipient is Paul Brenner, putting up a 4th place finish at Bump Drifting, a 1st place at Seattle, and a 2nd place at Delaware. The only little outlier there is the 21st place at Lowell, but he has been pretty consistent so far and has put himself at the top of the standings chart. So he's our first Hardy's Hot Seat Award winner of the year. We're back to green flag racing here at lap number 6. Andrew Rich and Dale Jr. Dude 88 did not pit. Neither did Stephen Willie. Every driver beyond that at a minimum has filled up their tank. Drivers going around single file at the moment, staying pretty steady. And you can see Dale Jr. Dude 88 actually gets shuffled up the track, heading into turn number 3. As they come around, and I see that T-Love 48 Man is making a move to pit lane. I'm not sure what this is about. See if he has any service. It seems to have been a stop and go. Might have been a penalty, but I'm not sure what it was about. You can see the city landscape beyond the track coming out of turn number 2. And as I head down into turn number 4, Andrew Rich still holding on to the lead. Stephen Willie has taken over 2nd place. And looks like McDaniel's actually shifted up in 3rd place as well. Dale Jr. 88 shifts back to 6th place. He's fallen back pretty quickly. Rich having a pretty quiet season. Beyond a 5th place finish at Seattle where he led a lap, most of his finishes have been coming in around 18th to 23rd place range. So hopefully a win will propel him, get him up there a little higher in the standings. Take a look at NASCAR Fan 1418, one of our bubble drivers, currently running in the 7th position. He's 3rd in points at the moment, 17 points back from the leader. But of course, what he'd really love to get is a win. A win would put him automatically in the chase. But if he can hold off these other drivers on the bubble, then he can put himself in at large if any of these guys can get multiple wins over the course of the season. The Rampage is the first driver on his tail after crashing out of the first race. Posted a 4th place finish at Lowell and a pair of 12th place finishes after that. It's definitely nothing to scoff at. 36 points behind Paul Brenner. If my math is right, I'd be 19 points behind NASCAR Fan 1418. He's looking to pick up the pace as he's currently running in 16th place. Might be losing the place right there, actually. Next on the list, Alexander Miller. not putting up a great performance right now. In 30th position, and only 1 point behind Rampage. These guys from about 5th place to 9th place are all separated by only about a span of 4 points. So it's definitely close there. They're really trying to chase the number 7 car. NASCAR man number 1, even further back, he is in 37th place. Trying to fight his way up the track. He was one of the victims in our first accident of the day. That multi-car crash that came through that tri-oval just as he drove by. John Arndt, he's putting up a 12th place run right now. He is yet another point behind these drivers. Looking at the back of Barry Goldberg, who has in fact posted a win. William Brock, he is running in 37th position, probably took that place away from NASCAR man number 1. So those two drivers very far back in the pack to start off this race. And as you can see, it's basically a lot of these guys that got involved in that first wreck. They're all the ones that are hanging back in the pack at the moment. They had to get that damage repaired. Tyrone Kingston made a very gutsy move right there, and it looks like he paid the price for it. Pat Hayes goes to the inside. He's running in 14th place as he crossed the line, and he's in 9th place in points at the moment. Heading into lap number 13, Andrew Rich holding on to the lead over Stephen Willie. Those two drivers are definitely capitalized on their choice not to make a pit stop. Dale Jr. Dude 88, who was the third driver, is still in 5th place. And as you can see, Rampage, one of our bubble drivers, making a very big move, going under both Gardner and Tyrone Kingston, one of the bubble drivers. Very graceful move right there by Rampage. Seems like that inside line is being very generous to drivers. Going into turn number 3 and number 4. Very interesting shape that this track holds. It's basically a D oval would be the best way to describe it. You've got that long turn that these drivers just came out of. Goes from the front stretch to the back stretch. But you've got these turns right here where it's basically 2 separate turns and a short stretch in the middle, somewhat similar to Indianapolis. But the shape definitely not the same as that track. And it looks like Andrew Golden has gone around. He goes running that short chute that we were just talking about. He seems to be the only car involved. Skids the tires and pulls away. And now bring out the caution on lap number 15. Pace car picks up the field. Hopefully we'll see some more drivers making their way to their pit stops this time, especially those that did not come around the first time, which includes the leader, Andrew Rich, Stephen Willie, and Dale Jr. Dude 88 being the others. And it appears that they will indeed come down for their pit stops. See if anyone stays out. It looks like NASCAR Fan 19 is going to be your first driver to stay out. He will stay and lead a lap, get a bonus point, and we'll see how that turns out for him later in the race. Looks like another taker in the back. And yet a few more. We're looking at Andrew Rich, K-Dude 124, and Andrew Golden. Rich being the leader. K-Dude 124, your pole sitter, and Golden, we'll see what he does after his incident. Rich is our first one to pit. He's a little bit further down the lane. He's going to take a set of tires. Goes all four. K-Dude 124 pitting from the first spot. Takes 4 tires as well. Rich pulls off, and it looks like Golden actually made some contact with the Flash as he pulled into his pit stop. K-Dude 124 pulls out in second. Rich pulls out in first. It looks like it was a pretty similar order to when they came in. Willie dropped back a couple places. Here's a look at the drivers that stayed out. NASCAR Fan 19, Johnny Gardner, Dejon Weeks, William Brock. Harry Saura, Gabriel Wanderley. Several drivers that were involved in the first incident. As we take a look at what happened there. Golden might have gotten some contact from Juckham, I believe. Alexander Miller makes some evasive action. Lucky not to be more involved in that one. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
The Winston 500, Sunday at 1 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Meadowlands Speedway. During the break, pretty much all of those drivers that we saw leading the race, not taking the pit stops, they did come in right at the very end of this yellow flag cycle. With 1 lap to go, they have made their pit stops and they are on fresh tires and fuel, but they are at the tail end of the pack. Tilo 48 man, it appeared he served a penalty at the front of the last green flag. He is now a lap down and on the inside lane of these drivers. Rich is going to lead them to the green flag. We're back to green on lap number 19. Several of these drivers trying to stay competitive. Tilo 48 man cuts to the outside lane, and it looks like he gets shuffled up. Some drivers are going to go underneath him. K-Dude 124 trying to take a look at Rich and see how he can make his move to the inside of him. K-Dude 124 looking for some salvation, has crashed out of 2 different races but placed 16th and 10th in the other 2. One of the big standing moves I just saw right there, Rampage was not on the leaderboard at the start of that lap, but he has already propelled himself into 6th place. I saw him down on the inside line. It's definitely been working out in this race. As you see the 3 drivers pulling away from that lapped car traffic. Willie goes wide and Rampage actually makes another move. Now he's in 5th place. Little update on our drivers that have taken a win so far this season. Paul Brenner currently running in 21st place. Based on those stats we read you at the beginning of the broadcast, based on him being the Hardy's hot seat driver, he would be in his worst position so far this season. Barry Goldberg, who is in 2nd place, running 23rd right now, just behind him. Goldberg took his win at Lowell Superspeedway. He complemented it with a 3rd place finish at Delaware last week. Stephen Willie running in 8th place at the moment. He's kind of dropped away from where he was at the start of his green flag run. But he won the first race of the season. He's in a pretty good spot, running 4th place in the standings at the moment. NASCAR Fan 1418, who is actually right behind him, is in 3rd place, but he does not have a win. Reese Butcher won last week's race, only running in 23rd in the standings, though. And he's in 30th place right now, so it's not a very good place for him to be in right now. You got to stay in the top 35 in the standings out of all drivers, make sure you stay in the chase contention. Well, here on lap number 23, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back with some more racing action. Andrew Rich is your current leader. We'll be right back.
Today my journey brings me to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I spend the day with Geico driver Casey Mears. I told him the secret to saving money on car insurance. He told me the secret to his car setup. First, he adjusts his speed. And a quarter cup of pineapple juice. Or was that the secret to his barbecue sauce?
Hey, secret sauce.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, welcome back to Meadowlands Speedway. Andrew Rich still possesses the lead. And we're coming down. It looks like we got some green flag pit stop takers. They're getting very close at the moment. Nick Smith and NASCAR man number 1 will be the first ones onto pit lane. Both these drivers involved in that earlier accident. Nick Smith posted a best finish of 10th, happening at Bump Drafton, but since then hasn't been able to pop out of the 30th place area since then. NASCAR man number 1, talked about him earlier, how he's on the bubble, trying to look for some more places and trying to get some ground to get some at-large chase spots. More of the crowd coming in for pit stops. Stephen Willie, one of our already winners. He's going to take a couple tires, going to get 4 of them. Reese Butcher right in front of him, another one of our winners. Lily takes off. Butcher goes for 4 tires, as does Dale Jr. Dude 88, trying to rebound from some shuffling back in the pack during these green flag runs. It posts a very solid pit run right there. More drivers coming down, including our top 3 then. Rampage going to be the first one to come down for the pit. He's going to take a 4 tire set. NASCAR Fan 19 currently staying out and taking the lead. Remember that he pitted a little bit later than everyone else after that last yellow flag. K-Dude 124, Andrew Rich, both at the end of pit lane. Looks like both of them are going to take 4 tires. Rich is away. K-Dude 124 comes out and looks like actually made some contact. Those two make some contact. Rampage trying to get away. It looks like Rich is going to block him. Dale Jr. Dude 88 starts to pull away. K-Dude 124 is a little bit slow coming out of the pit lane on the apron. Might have resulted from that contact. Rampage tried to get around and didn't make it work out. Dan Bandon currently stuck on pit lane. I'm not sure what's happening here. William Brock is one of those bubble drivers that has pitted in front of him. NASCAR Fan 19 relinquishes the lead and takes 4 tires and pulls away. Dale Jr. Dude 88 has in fact taken full control of the lead. Stephen Willie now in 2nd place. Looks like Rampage got around Andrew Rich finally. Currently running in 3rd place. Dale Jr. 88, you can see him in turn number 3. Looking to make that move out of the turn. Didn't make it stick that time. Let's take a look at what happened to Dan Bandon, because he was stuck on pit lane. Coming down, he is trying to cut to his pit, and it gets into Barry Goldberg. Not sure, trying to determine. I think Goldberg might have been coming out as Bandon was coming in. I think Goldberg already made his stop, but Bandon take some damage from that, and it's not going to work out well for him. There's a pack of 4 drivers here trying to get around the slow car, Matt Johnson. It looks like Rampage is actually going to take advantage of it. Stephen Willey's going to get the butt end of that as he drops back all the way to possibly 5th place. Of course, Willey doesn't have too much to do in order to keep his chase spot, but of course, getting those extra victories will get you more and more bonus points, and those could become essential the further along you get into the chase. So Dale Jr. Dude 88, after we talked about him having some troubles shuffling back in the pack, he is taking the outright lead right there. Paul Brenner, looking at NASCAR Fan 1418. Of course, that's another bubble driver that'd love to be in the hunt. His competition Rampage running 2nd place right now, so he's gained some ground in the points standings. He posted some mediocre finishes in the first 2 races of the season, but in the past 2, got a 2nd and a 4th. So definitely trying to keep that momentum headed in the positive direction. We're going to take another commercial break right here, and we will be back.
UPS delivers earlier to more countries in Asia. That means navigating the tight streets in this. Do you have what it takes, David?
Come on, let's go 3-wheeling. Excellent time. May I restrictor plate? Gun quiet.
Your Chinese is very good.
Welcome back to Meadowlands Speedway. Dale Jr. Dude 88 still holds the lead, but Rampage and Andrew Rich have both closed in on him fast. You can see all 3 of those drivers are very close together. Rampage right on the bumper. Coming into turn number 3, he can make his move right here. He's going to try, he's bumping him right there. And he slips it up and can't quite hold it down. If there's ever a place on this track you want to make a move, it is definitely turn number 3. You can see right here, here's your top 5 as they run. All the cars have basically spread out on the track. Not much pack racing going on right now. And based on where all these drivers have been pitting, they're all going to have to make one more pit stop, and it's not going to be as controversial as it was last time. It looks like Dale Jr. Dude 88 has in fact made his pit stop, along with McDaniel and Willey. Rampage will go around and lead that lap, get a bonus point. Stephen Willey is the first one to hit his pit stall. Pit strategy could really become a factor right here. Looks like Willey is going to opt for 4 tires. Dale Jr. Dude 88. Looks like he is going to opt for 4 tires. And he'll be on his way. McDaniel makes his way out. Rich stays on the track as Rampage comes down, along with a few drivers behind him. Slides into his stall. You can see K-Dude 124. It's part of that pack. His pit stall a little bit further down. Rampage, he's opting for 2 tires. This could make This could possibly be some interesting pit strategy here. Staying a little bit wide to see what's going on around the track. Dale Jr. Dude 88 actually comes around right now. Looks like Rampage tried to save some time right there. There's your gap at the moment. Dale Jr. Dude 88 wanting to close in fast. And of course, he has 4 tires while Rampage has 2. It's actually a bit surprising how much of a time differential it hasn't really been. Considering Rampage was right in that pack, right behind Dale Jr. Dude 88. Just came in at different times. Andrew Rich has finished his pit stop, but it looks like both of these other drivers are going to blow right by them. You can see the gap is really closed, and this has just been 1 lap. We're about 5.5 laps outside of the finish of this race. And coming through that corner, the gap is closed even further. There's a definite differential of speed that's happening right here, all because of tire wear. Definitely going to make your tires stick into this course, and even going in turn number 1, he is right on the bumper of Rampage now. And he is sticking there, and he's going to shove him going into turn number 3 and take the lead right here. It's just the move you expect it to be made, and there he goes. Dale Jr. Dude 88 back into the lead, Rampage to second. There's a gutsy call to try to get some positions, but it doesn't seem to have paid off so far. You've got to give credit, though. He probably would not have been in the position he is now without making that adjustment. It's more likely he'd be back in about 4th or 5th place. Instead, he tried to make a contention, but Dale Jr. Dude 88 is just far too powerful this race. As they come across the line, it's going to be 3 to go. James McDaniel also took 4 tires. He could definitely be someone that's trying to get up to Rampage in the next couple of laps. He doesn't have much to go, but the fact that Dale Jr. Dude 88 has just pulled in away from this 2-tired car is definitely a testament to how much the tire wear is affecting these cars right now. You can see the gap between Rampage and McDaniel now, and it is closed just like it did with our current leader. We take a look at him now, and he's drafting off of Rampage, going into turn number 1. He hikes it down into the corner, gets right on his bumper, and it's going to be another turn 3 move right here. And cutting it into the corner, he digs it in there and takes over 2nd place from Rampage. Making some shuffling moves in the final laps of this race. The white flag is out for Dale Jr. Dude 88. Hold it for another lap. He'd be our 5th winner in 5 races. Coming down the backstretch into turn number 3, down the short chute. Right around the fountain end victory lane, where he's sure to be soon. Through the trial is not even close. Dale Jr. Dude 88 comes across the line and dominates at Meadowlands Speedway. McDaniel brings it home second and Rampage third. Willie and Rich, who we saw battling in that group, also come home fourth and fifth respectively. But Dale Jr. Dude 88 has Poland in the victory. And now we've got 5 different drivers who have a spot in the first Wendy's Cup Series chase. So taking a look at the final finishing order, Dale Jr. Dude 88 picks up his first victory of the season, especially after that disappointing finish last week with the pit road incident. Rampage picked up some points on NASCAR Fan 148, who finished 18th. K-Dude 124 finishes in 12th. He was your pole sitter for the race. Only one DNF for this race was Colin Lindsay, who was involved in that first lap crash back on lap number 1. But beyond that, everyone stayed pretty consistent, stayed on the lead lap. Some of those guys that were involved in the crash before finishing a little bit further back. So we have 5 automatic qualifiers at the moment, as long as they stay in the top 35. 4 of them are sitting in the top 10, but Reese Butcher's still sitting back in 23rd place. Rampage has closed the gap by 3 points over near NASCAR Fan 1418. A few new names joining that top 10 list. We will see how they perform going throughout these next couple weeks. Well, that will do it for us here at Meadowlands Speedway. Hope to see you next week when we head to Rio. Congrats to Dale Jr. Dude 88 for grabbing the victory. Thank you for joining us here on RVN, and we hope to see you next time.